Are we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are we live? Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I, of course, am Sheriff David Shoar, St. John County Sheriff's Office, and with me is Assistant Chief of Police Barry Fox from the St. Augustine Police Department. We're going to be releasing a detailed press release to you in a few moments, but I want to share some comments before you actually get a copy of it. There's already been extensive reporting that has been done on this tragic case that occurred yesterday. We had a homicide that occurred inside the city limits on Rollins Avenue. As you know, a young 24-year-old female was the victim of that homicide. There was also a child that had been injured at that scene, slightly injured at that scene. I do want to clarify one part of that. That child, yesterday, we shared and you reported that that child had been dropped during that scene, during the incident. That is not what occurred. That child was in a stroller, and the suspect, as he fled the driveway, actually struck that stroller with the 2-month-old child in it. And quite frankly, it's a miracle that that child is still with us today. And I understand he's doing fine after being checked by doctors. After that, our suspect traveled to Duval and 4th Street, where his mother lives, and had been talking with his mother after the first incident. And while he was there, another incident occurred at that same location that involved an ongoing dispute between our suspect, Mr. Williams, and some of the folks that were shot at in that second incident. The mother, after she finished talking with her son, she went inside or went around the back of the home, heard rifle fire, came out, and her son had began shooting at some homes. At that scene, we have another victim, Kewan Murray, who was killed at that scene. A female, Brittany Tobler, was wounded at that scene with a shot in the hand. So at that point in the incident, in both incidences, we had unfortunately, we had 2 fatalities, 1 wounded, and then a child who needed some medical attention. After the incident at 4th and Duval, the suspect fled the scene and eventually got rid of the car he was in and acquired another vehicle and fled with the rifle and the other vehicle. So we've had 4 real crime scenes. We've had the Rollins Street scene, we've had 4th and Duval, and we've had the incident, the location where the vehicle was taken after the second shooting, and then the 4th scene, of course, being Jacksonville, because we have recovered the stolen vehicle, as you well know, and we're not 100% sure that that vehicle was stolen, but somehow he acquired it. And we have that vehicle along with a weapon that was found in that vehicle that's been recovered in Jacksonville at Norwood and 95. One of the purposes of this press conference that I really want to emphasize to all of you today, and we're appreciative because this is going to be a big help for us getting this message out. There's some narratives that have been advanced by some folks in the community and some relatives of some of these victims that somehow there's more than one person involved and that somehow there may be some retaliation involved, and et cetera, et cetera. And we want to disabuse everybody of that notion very strongly, because when rumors like that get started, bad things can occur. There were no 2 shooters. Nobody went to take retaliation because of the first incident. We have 1 suspect, and his name is Johnny Lawrence Williams, 36 years of age. He's a convicted felon. I believe he's been convicted in the past for shooting into an occupied structure. Mr. Williams, we have an arrest warrant for Mr. Williams as we speak for the first homicide that occurred on Rollins Street, and between eyewitness testimony and between some video evidence and other physical evidence, we can say that today with all confidence that Mr. Williams was the sole perpetrator at the Rollins Street incident. After the incident at Rollins Street, he drove immediately over to West 4th Street and by himself used a rifle, switched weapons, and engaged the group during the second encounter. There was nobody else involved. Why he shot at that second group, we can tell you today. It was an ongoing dispute between Williams and some of these folks that were at that scene. There was really no relation between what occurred at Rollins and what occurred at 4th and Duval, other than same suspect and same day. So we really want to stress to our folks in the community, and the best way to do that is through the media and through our social media, that there was no retaliation, there was no one group against another group. This is one individual that obviously, for whatever reasons, yesterday lost complete and utter control and committed some very serious, tragic crimes with some tragic outcomes, not the least of which is a 4-year-old niece of Jamie Wilson, who unfortunately had to witness the murder of her aunt, and we'll have to deal with that for the rest of that young child's life. So there's a lot of, the other thing that, the other item we want to emphasize today is this. We believe that at this time there's a good chance that Mr. Williams is probably, very possibly, still in the area in Jacksonville. And we are working with a lot of different agencies, and as you well know, the city of St. Augustine we're conducting this jointly. The first homicide occurred in their jurisdiction. All the subsequent incidences occurred in the county. But there's a good chance that Mr. Williams is in Jacksonville, maybe traveling to parts north, possibly to Atlanta. He's got some connections there, and I have to make the assumption that, and I would say that we all should make the assumption that Williams is still armed and dangerous. So the second part of this press conference is we want to get the message out to Johnny that he needs to turn himself in. We have spoken to his mother and father, and they wanted us to convey to him that he needs to do the right thing. We don't need any more violence. We don't need any kind of standoffs or anything like that. So we would ask our suspect to turn himself in, or have his lawyer call us and be treated with. He'll be treated like he should be treated, like we treat all of our suspects. So that being said, I think I've pretty much summarized everything that I can think of in this case. I do want to tell you that the Sheriff's Office and the City Police Department were very quick to arrive on these scenes yesterday and to get control of them. We had great cooperation. There was a lot of schools in the area, and we got those locked down, and you know, unfortunately we've had to do that quite frequently over the last couple of years, and but we did that because we of course did not want to expose any of our children to any dangers with the suspect on the loose like we had yesterday afternoon. We are working with some state and federal partners on this case, especially because we've got a convicted felon who is on the run, who is wanted for one murder, and probably by the end of the day there'll be a warrant signed for the second homicide. So with that being said, we've got a lot of work going on, a lot of follow-up going on. I want to thank all of our detectives, all of the first responding city officers and deputies who have no idea what they're getting into when they arrive at these types of calls. Very dangerous, very unpredictable, very fluid. I don't really have anything else. I'd be willing to take some questions. I'm assuming you probably have some. What
did he say to his mother when he came to her house?
I'm sorry?
What did he say to his mother when he showed up at her house?
I understand that there was, we don't know exactly what was said. It's been conveyed to me that the mother did everything she could to calm her son down. So I don't really know what was said. Ironically, the mother lives literally, and I'll tell you, the weapon that was used at 4th and Duval Street, we are very fortunate that, well, we actually did have somebody that was wounded, but we're very fortunate we didn't have more victims in this, because it was a high-powered rifle, and those homes, a lot of those homes are older homes that they're not made of concrete, they're made of wood. So there was a conversation. I don't know what the specifics were. It's been conveyed to me that the mother did everything she could to calm her son down. She knew he was in a heightened state of anxiety and unfortunately, it didn't work.
Did she know what had just happened to Jamie?
I have not been given that information yet. We don't think she did, other than he was, you know, and again, I'm not going to make any assumptions about him being under the influence of anything, but there's that possibility. I'm not going to make any assumptions about his mental health state, but there's that possibility. So Mom, I'm sure, had a son that appeared to be in distress, and like any mom, you know, probably tried to calm her son down, and unfortunately it didn't work.
What was the weapon that was used at the Rollins scene?
Right.
It was a handgun, it was a Ruger, and I'm not sure of the caliber. It was a 380. 380.
Who did that belong to?
Who did that belong to? I don't have that information yet.
Do you know if both of those weapons have been recovered?
Yeah, no, just the
rifle.
Rifle has been recovered. The pistol, rather, has been recovered, and that was recovered in the original vehicle that Mr. Williams is. It is currently being processed as a crime, you know, for evidence.
You're talking about the Nissan, not the Contour, correct?
I'm talking about the Nissan, yes, ma'am. And we've got both vehicles back. The original vehicle that was used was the Nissan, okay? And when they pulled up to that house, there was the victim, the suspect, 2-month-old, and the 4-year-old that were in that vehicle. The pistol was used at that homicide scene, and made the assumption he brought it back in the car with him. And when he went to the second scene, he chose to use the rifle that, again, assuming it was in the car, or he stopped somewhere to pick it up. And then when he fled after getting the Ford, he actually ran through the neighborhoods with this rifle. So he chose the rifle instead of the pistol to flee with. So that's, any other questions?
Is there any surveillance video up near where the car was found in Jacksonville that might lead?
I don't know about Jacksonville, but we are looking at some video surveillance that has helped provide us with some clarity that was available at the Rollins Street scene, and we're not prepared, obviously, to release important portions of that. We're still conducting the investigation. I do not know the answer to Jacksonville, whether or not there was any kind of video there.
Do we know if this suspect is the baby's father yet?
I have been told that he is, but I have been told that he is.
Do we know what the dispute was that led him to the shootings?
I don't have any idea. We don't have any idea. And it's been kind of relayed to me that they pulled up and everything seemed relatively normal until the pistol comes out and the homicide's committed. How about over here?
Sheriff, do we know from once he dropped the car from Jacksonville, how possibly he's getting to Atlanta? Is he still in another car, or is he riding with somebody else?
Don't know. We got to assume. We're making sometimes you got to make assumptions in these cases. So you got to be very careful when we do that. We are making an assumption that he knows people in Jacksonville. That's why he fled there. Quite frankly, what he's doing from here on out, we don't know. We don't know if he's still in Jacksonville, if he's heading to Atlanta, or if he's coming back here. So it's kind of very fluid, and that's why this news conference is very important to get this description out. And we have to believe, ladies and gentlemen, and our public has to believe that this is a dangerous individual. In broad daylight, he murdered 2 people. He is armed, as we know today, with a rifle. So we're dealing with a desperate individual, and that's why we're asking Johnny to do the right thing, pick up a phone. He can call law enforcement, he can call anybody that he knows, an attorney, whatever. Let's get him into custody. Let's process this thing the way that it should be processed so we don't have any other difficulties.
Is he now, yesterday you mentioned a person of interest. Is he now officially a suspect?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got arrest warrants for the guy. We've got a homicide arrest warrant. So he is, yes, he absolutely is the suspect, and the only suspect. Yes?
I want to just talk to this because it's still disgusting to even imagine. So he actually drove from the scene and hit that child in the stroller?
Yes, and it was, I have not, and I believe that was captured on video, and what's been conveyed to me was that we are very fortunate that that child was not more severely injured or killed. I mean, as terrible as it was yesterday, there was some, we were very fortunate that that child is okay. We're very fortunate that the 4-year-old at the scene was okay, and we're very fortunate that more people with that high-powered rifle yesterday didn't become victims. Or, innocent bystanders and what have you. But that's what happened, and he didn't stop to check on his child, he fled.
The stroller was struck by the car?
Say that again?
The stroller was struck
Yes.
by the car?
Yes, sir, as he was backing out.
Sheriff, the second scene, when he pulls up to that scene, how many people are there in that group?
I don't know the exact amount. It was a group of people. I know there was a few males, a couple of females, and there had been an ongoing dispute
Do you
between
know
him.
about what?
Ma'am?
Do you know about what?
Not really. As time goes by, we're going to develop more specifically what it was. Yesterday, a narrative got promoted, and we think by one of the family that the person that went to that second scene went there to retaliate. None of that's true, and that is very important that the public understands that, especially the families involved, and we don't start with like a Hatfield and McCoy, or that's not what happened. It was one person who all evidence indicates perpetrated all these acts.
And that car, was it stolen, not stolen? Do we not know now?
Talking about the first vehicle?
The maroon car.
The maroon car, we've been calling it stolen.
Right.
We have not nailed down exactly how he acquired that car. So we've entered it into the computer system, but I don't think we can say with a whole lot of confidence that it's absolutely a stolen vehicle. It could have been given to him by somebody he knew. We just don't know. But right now, it's being treated, it's in the system as if a law enforcement officer in Virginia gets behind that vehicle, he's going to know that it's connected to a double homicide.
Was there a relationship between the two victims that you guys know of? Were they known to each other?
I don't believe, Skip, I don't believe there was any relationship between the two that we've been able to find. Now, whether they knew each other, I don't know. We've talked to we've talked to Jamie's mother at great length, a lovely woman who, of course, is distraught. And folks, that's at the end of the day. These people that were killed yesterday, they were parents. I believe Kiwan might have had a child, but we certainly know Jamie had a 2-month-old, and it's a tragedy. I mean, these children are not going to have the benefit of those adults in their lives. And Mr. Williams, once he's caught, his future's certainly limited. So there's a lot of tragedies in this case. Any other questions?
Can you clarify, again, just kind of where and how the third and fourth locations?
Well, I would say the third location would be the location where the suspect got the maroon Ford Contour. And then our fourth location is up in North Jacksonville at Norwood and I-95 where we actually found the maroon Ford Contour. So that's what we're really calling it, 4 different crime scenes. I do want to, before we close the conference, I do also want to stress that, again, we've got Assistant Chief Barry Fox with us today, and this is a collaborative investigation. We are working this thing together as we should. So we've got uniformity and continuity and reporting systems and evidence gathering procedures and what have you. But we do, and I also want to thank all of you, the media, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of the information that the public is getting right now, they're getting from y'all on going live with this stuff or reporting on it. We appreciate it. And that's why we're relying so much on this information getting out about he was a lone gunman and there's none of this, no inter-family feuding or anything like that. So it seems like there's no more questions. I do want to thank you. Are we going to have another? We won't bring anything out until
If we have something new,
if we have something new, we'll notify you. It probably won't require a press conference like this, but we'll certainly be in touch. So thank you very much.